Sin's impact on the world. One clear example is the prevalence of violence and war. Conflicts ranging from local skirmishes to global wars have led to immense loss of life, displacement and destruction. This reflects the biblical teaching in James chapter 4, verses 1 to 2, which attributes wars and fights to human desires and covetousness. God intended for humanity to live in peace and harmony, as evidenced in Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4, which envisions a future where nations no longer engage in war and swords are turned into plowshares. Environmental ruins are another manifestation of sin's impact. Human activities driven by greed and exploitation have led to deforestation, pollution and climate change. This destruction of God's creation contradicts the stewardship role given to humanity in Genesis chapter 2, verse 15, where God placed Adam in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. The ongoing ecological crisis shows a departure from the responsibility to care for the earth, resulting in detrimental consequences for all living creatures. Economic inequality highlights the pervasive nature of sin. A small percentage of the global population controls a vast majority of the wealth, while millions live in extreme poverty. This disparity goes against biblical principles such as those in Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 11, where God commands care for the poor and needy, and Acts chapter 4, verses 32 to 35, which describes the early Christian community sharing their resources so that no one lacked anything. God intended a world where resources are shared equitably, ensuring that everyone's basic needs are met. Sin has also corrupted personal relationships, leading to broken families, betrayal, and strife. High rates of divorce, infidelity, and domestic violence reflect a deviation from God's design for loving and faithful relationships. In Ephesians chapter 5, verses 25 to 33, marriage is depicted as a union based on mutual love and respect, reflecting Christ's relationship with the church. The breakdown of family structures and relationships indicates a departure from these ideals, resulting in emotional pain and societal instability. Injustice and oppression are rampant in many parts of the world, where corrupt systems and leaders exploit their power for personal gain. This results in widespread human rights abuses and suffering for the marginalized. Proverbs 29 verse 2 states, "When the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan." God's vision for leadership is one of justice and righteousness, ensuring that all people are treated fairly and with dignity. The prevalence of oppression starkly contrasts with this divine intention. Moral relativism has led to a society where truth is subjective and ethical standards are compromised. This shift undermines the absolute moral truths presented in the Bible, such as the Ten Commandments in Exodus 20, which provide a clear moral framework. As societies move away from these absolute standards, behaviors once universally condemned are now often justified, leading to moral confusion and societal decay. God's intention was for humanity to live by his unchanging moral laws, ensuring a just and orderly society. The prevalence of addiction and substance abuse highlights another way sin has devastated the world. These issues lead to personal ruin, broken families, and increased crime. The Bible warns against such destructive behaviors in passages like Ephesians 5, verse 18, which cautions against drunkenness and calls for a life filled with the Spirit. God intended for humans to live in freedom and self-control, experiencing the fullness of life rather than enslavement to harmful substances. Finally, Sin has introduced a pervasive sense of hopelessness and despair in many lives. Mental health issues, including depression and anxiety, are on the rise, partly due to the brokenness and uncertainty in the world. Jesus offers a stark contrast in John 10, verse 10, where he declares his purpose is to give life to the full. God's original design was for humans to experience joy, peace, and purpose. The prevalence of hopelessness indicates a world deeply estranged from the life-giving presence and purpose God intended.